Hello, Jeeves. How are you? Doing good? That's good to hear. Hey, Kano. I'm doing good. How are you? Just listening to good old Joniver's new Goth Girl song. And we're talking about Joniver in Joniver from. He's the one who's in with the group with Shin's group, right? And Kano, it does say variant. Your phone probably still hasn't logged you out, so it still says V. But once you log out and relog, it's gonna be back to variant. And Brett, hello. How are you? Give me 1 second. I need to use the restroom real quick and get some water. So when as the ad break goes up, I'm gonna go. Anyway, guess who twisted one's ankle today? Oh no, did you, Kano? You twisted your ankle today? I'm sorry to hear that. I played this game with the controller. Yeah, please get well soon. I'm sorry that like you twisted your ankle. Oh man. I was playing with the bouncy ball and I jumped and it twisted it. Oh no. Oh no, I bet you rolled your ankle. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Like you landed improperly, so your foot landed on the side and then you just like, you know? I'm guessing that's what happened. Anyway, I mean not anyway, but I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. Oh my god, I hate it when that happens. I understand exactly how painful and how it feels. Oh man, I hope you get it better soon. Put some ice on it and get some rest. Let me press this button. All right. Let's get the show on the road. Welcome! Hold on. Hold my camera a little bit. Welcome! Back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Great Ace Attorney 2. Resolve. This is chapter 4. We're almost done with this chapter. At least I can still watch it on my phone. Yeah. Thank goodness for small mercies, right? Still on chapter 4, we're almost done. We just finished the first part of the trial. We basically got, why is my... Oh? Why am I... Vice Mac. And for hardware changes. What's going on? Sin, are you okay? My controller's not working for some reason. It's wired, so it should work immediately. And I plugged it into a USB port that definitely works. That's not the issue. Oh dear. Xbox controller plugged in but not working PC. Well, the first thing is telling me to restart the PC. And, you know, I don't need to use this controller. I just prefer to use it when on single player games when I like. Oh well. It just means that we won't use it. Alright. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Alright. When we last left off, we finished the trial. We came back to the scene of the crime. I cannot see what buttons... Oh man. I really wish I had plugged this in without beforehand, because I don't know the proper buttons on the bottom right without the controller. Okay. You should hear them talking about at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that it was the boss who killed all of them bludgers. You mean the whole Reaper thing? Yeah. Apparently, the boss was investigating stuff that no one else in the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals what got off scot-free. Yes, the ones prosecuted by the Lord Van Zeeks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction. Well then, obviously, it was that bloomin' Reaper giving the orders, weren't it? But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregsy of being involved in the killings? There was a notebook in his office. Oh no. This doesn't sound good. It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work. What? No. Did you see it, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They wouldn't flamin' let me. Cause I'm just an apprentice apparently. But it was me who found it, and he was my boss. I love the Sin British accent. Thank you. This is my best. I think. Hey Keno, can you identify the accent that I'm trying to do? Is it York? Not Yorkshire. Shit, I completely forgot. I forgot what the location. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked in to peek at what it said anyway. Oh, that's our Gina. Alright, what? Nope, sorry, I can't. Chav. It's your typical Chav accent, you know? So you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you? Way I see it, it's my right to read what you wrote. What have you written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, an all long list of them. All details about the bludgeons supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record of the inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly! That's what I said! That's the first thing you think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognized anyway. Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underground. Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd. At the end of the list, you mean? Thank you so much for the hydrate. Until I read the title, people I've murdered. Oh, the day before the inspector was found dead. So, what was the odd name? It weren't like a name I've ever seen before. It was something like, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way. Dear, what a pity. There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over. Shin, it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but... Oh fuck, my blood ran cold, chat. Because, Shinsen? Yeah, I wonder if it shows up in the court record. No, it doesn't show up in the court record, but... throughout this whole story, it rolls back to Asa Shin. Get it? Assassin. Asa Shin. She's the most notorious assassin. No, she's already dead. Asa Shin is already dead. In the first game, in the first trial, she killed John Wilson and framed us for the murder, and we found ourselves not guilty. And then in this game, the second game, on the first in our first trial, she's the one who dies. And Susato, who pretends to be our cousin, becomes the defense lawyer. Ace Attorney is a masterpiece at names, exactly. Did you say Shin? Eh? What? It does mean something. Lord Van Zeeks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we find out her name appeared in Gregson's secret notebook. We haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina? Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating and all and that. The lads at the Yada trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened. The day before? That would be undercover investigation to the Redhead League. Have you, hey Sin, have you seen these Cerveza crystal memes? No, I've never even heard of those until you just mentioned them. Cerveza Cristal. Some old clip of Star Wars with their ads edited into went viral. It went apparently actually broadcast on TV in Chile like in 2000. Oh shit. Pity, these are awesome. It's so dumb. I'll send you some. No worries. Alright. Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some cove what was pretending to be him, didn't you, Otto? Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Line Street that day, posing as Gregsy. Hey Sunshine, thank you so much for lurking. Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I've got my own ways of getting results. And thank you so much for the head pats. When me and me partner get together, there's nothing we can't track down. Oh, little Toby! Yeah, exactly, little Toby! He's such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What do you think, eh? Of course we have! Can't tell you though, police business, innit? Ugh. Anyway, the point is, if you lot ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? You're obligated to head pat yourself IRL whenever this is redeemed, are you not? I head pat myself all the time. You know what's really funny? Oh, fuck! This isn't funny. I have a list of things to add to Trigger Fire, and I completely forgot to do them over the weekend. Usually Sunday is Sunday is my day off from streaming, and that's the time where I just chill, take a break. I forgot to upload stuff to YouTube, make the last week's YouTube archives public, and I completely forgot about all of them. I was too busy playing Stardew Valley. Gina, about your hellhound there. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? Wait, you do YouTube stuff? I didn't know you... I know I need to give you a sub. No, okay, it's, I basically all my streams that I have done, I put them, like, the full week's stream onto YouTube. And then I keep them private for a week because I think there used to be a time where Twitch was like, you can't post your streams on YouTube unless like a full week has passed or something like that, and I was like, okay, I'll just do that. And it's most like more or less a habit for me to do that now, but I completely forgot about it today, yesterday. He's the pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems. For a canine, at least. I feel like one day, I'll get off my ass, and I'll start editing some streams to be actual videos, and then I'll post them onto, YouTube. It should be. After all, in the great exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Trevor's workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, eh? You have something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of, I wonder? What about the... Oh, and it says on the surface like crystal memes, by the way, for your information, they're dumb but funny. Understood. I will check it out. What are we missing? What about the candelabrum? As far as we know. Oh wait, what about the red hairpiece?
Take that!
Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. Sniff us. Sniff us. Might be a little too keen, don't you think? Oh! Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Whoop! Ah, look what he's gone to. Oh my, that trunk clearly still has a very strong scent. Of Inspector Gregsy. In other words, it must have belonged to him. Oh my god. I guess that's not what we were... Oh, alright, it's a fair cop, I suppose. And you nearly got away with it, too. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, wasn't it? That's enough now then, Gina. Eh? I think it's time you told us the truth. About that trunk. I like Chief Inspector Toby. It won't like that. It just won't. What are you talking about? I know what's going through that head of yours, but that ain't what happened. Alright then, what did happen? Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. So I let Toby here have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. And as soon as I done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich. Sandwich? Not to a bag of chips? Mr. Naruto, I believe Gina means the witness. Oh. Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. Yeah, he had it in between them wooden boards of his. Boss's truck. So he's a thief. You mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot and all piled in here? Exactly! He nabbed it from the scene! Goodness! Me and the Chief Inspector get that sandwich a good grilling, and you know what he said? I thought my veg good price and the chap wouldn't be needing it anymore, so... But that's all I did! Nothing but... Would you Adam and Eve... my voice cracked. Would you Adam and Eve the cheek of it, eh? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog. So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime, then. How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. And it's pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there something wrong with that, eh? Well, I mean, it might give us evidence. Maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together. Yeah, why don't we look in the trunk? I think perhaps that trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police! Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it? Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it. Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence. Alright, it's time to look at the evidence. Uh-oh. What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden? Mr. Naruto, be careful! It must be the trunk! Ah! Ah! Toby! Oi! What are you doing? You're gonna lick his face off! Mr. Naruto! Mr. Naruto! Gina, quickly! Hail the carriage! What the dog doing? Assaulting. Assaulting with a fluffy weapon, with the intent to woof. Dog, it's time for dog. Woof! Get barked. Okay. Oh, Mr. Naruto, are you alright? Well, first things first, I wanna look at Gregson's trunk. Fuck everything. Fuck being assaulted by a dog. Evidence first! For a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged, whatever made the gas that must have stuck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. A sword? A sword, maybe? And thank you so much for the double head pats. Look at this dark stain. Do you think... Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. Thank you so much for the head pats. I knew you were going to say that, so that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregsy was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes. You think that Gina's been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Triple head pads, exactly. Triple head pads. Oh my god. Thank you. Let's have a look inside. Oh, cool. It wasn't even locked. The music is nice. Look, there's something inside. Oh, Let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas. Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something. That was... Oh. What is it? It was for travel on 31st October, just one day before the incident. What? Really? Interesting. Pasaporte. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Interesting. Interesting. Hello there. Is that a shard of metal? Do you see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk here. It's glinting. It looks like a fragment of metal of some sort. But it's wedged in so tightly, I can't remove it. Don't cut yourself. Well, don't... He said the same thing! You better leave it, I think. We had the same brainwave, man. Okay, I think that's enough for that. I wish we could look at everything else, though. My inquisitive spirit. Okay. Oh, cool. The passport is a policeman and permission to travel and one additional personal travel. Okay. Miss Susato. Copycat, copy dog. Yeah, copy dog. Ah, conscience again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by its small tail. Most unseemly. What it is or isn't seemly is irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling? I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? Ah, what's this on my head? A bandage? Sadly, we had no ice, so that's a compress of sugar water. Sugar water? Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's the first aid treatment that my father taught me. Oh, thank you. Sugar water? So, let us take tea when you're feeling up to it. Of course, no sugar in the patient's cup. Ugh, the bump on my head is throbbing sweetly enough, don't worry. Whenever you feel ready, then. Okay, let's converse. Or, actually, let us investigate Mr. Sholmes. What are you doing here? Thank you for your concern, Mr. Sholmes. My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I heard that you'd been attacked by a dog. For a moment, I feared the infamous murder of so many had come back from the dead. You mean, the professor? Fortunately, I see your prized throat isn't scathed. That stiff, turned-up collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection. Was I that close to death? All I really remember is the dog licking my face over and over again. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in the future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick. I should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly. Okay, well... Well... Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let us move around. Mr. Visual's Hospital Bread, Fresno's Street Room, Prison. Where do we go? We'll go one by one then. Thanks. Oh, perfect.
Herr mit dem Schwarzbiergebot, Bodend Wien, Feuerberg, den Schlunter.
What's going on here?
Verbrannt, ach Hopfen deine Wut.
Any Germans? Can you translate what was being saying?
Dem Knacker ich befahl, hat wie ein Diamant.
What on earth is going on in here? Am I having a bad dream? Is that Mr. Mikotoba? No. It's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think. That's the least of my concerns. Iris. Oh. Iris? What's the matter? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, no, no. Iris is mad at us. Who's that sprawling? I mean, that relaxed gentleman over there. That's Mikotoba. That's Dr. Mikotoba. Iris? Is she even listening? Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you while you're singing so merrily, but would you be kind enough to explain the situation? Well, that worked. Pruning gentleman and a mute young girl. A rather tantalizing juxtaposition. One that appears to have incited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices too. Ah, it's time! My favorite part of the game! Yippee! The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a morose theme about the great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris. She's turned as white as a sheet. So as usual, you've instantly seen to the very heart of the matter. So, I'm gonna give my hypothesis of what happened. Mikotoba got drunk, accidentally revealed about Dr. John H. Wilson, and Iris heard about that, and Iris got sad because she found out that everyone knows about John H. Wilson's death except for her. Anne's identity is Dr. Mikotoba. I will now use no crap Herlock Sholmes on our no shit. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's a German with no grasp of the English language, as evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand what acts exist. So, why is the man here at all and in such apparently high spirits? Answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel that particular plot of the mystery. She's more confused than shocked. The reason for the man's mildly irritated waddling is revealed by the herbal tea. She's like, you obviously offered a German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavor has made the man's spirit soar, and resulted in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly wait sampling the flavor myself, that I may join the fellow in a state of elation. But she's pouting. She's sad and pouting! I'm sorry, Iris! I'm sorry! Now, to the next question. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the settee? I want some tea now, too. As it happens a number of years ago now, certain gentlemen of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. Is it tea time, Brad? In order to conceal his known identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottfried Sigmund von Umstein. Wait, wasn't that the child's father? The King of Germany. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. 1:32 a.m., so maybe not the best time to treat. It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him. But let's see what I have as a drink water. Drink water. Look, she's like, So the identity mask visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition. Yeah, his child. In the last chapter, with the teleportation device. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your weakness is concealed inside that knapsack. 5-pound note, I believe. I'll say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you've allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about this king's secret. And now the final piece of the puzzle. What is the secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah, yes, we need only follow that brief involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. Well, attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. Oh, did you bash him? Did you bash Dr. Mikotoba with the coffee cup? My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup. It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke in the midst of his hijinks. Which leads us to the sad truth. My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany! And Iris, you tried to conceal it from me! I shall have a bill sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. You're so far off from the truth, it's so funny. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle. Look how so sad he looks.
Mit dem Schwarzbiergebot, Boden wie ein Feuerberg.
With your silence as well, the fellow's jovious warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not? Mr. Sholmes, I must say something does rather trouble me. Pray, Mr. Soto, do tell. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we have arrived. Ah, and you haven't said a word either, Iris. Poor Iris. If Mr. Sholmes has it all right, you might as well own up to it now. I don't know, her pouting is really cute. I mean, it's really sad because she found out that her dad's dead, but... it wasn't the King of Germany. It was the King of Bohemia. Alright, it was the King of Bohemia. Goodness, was it? Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotz, the prince, testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition hall all the way from my home in Bohemia. I think I'm gonna go sleep now. That German song is making me sleepy. Good night, y'all. Good night, Kano. I'm gonna ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal. I believe, Mr. Yamamoto, it's our turn now to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of that mark this time. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find the truth behind this mysterious scene. One truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is known. So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Sherlock Holmes' logic and reasoning spectacular? Course correction. Hold it! J-Mump. You spelled jump incorrectly, Spread. Firstly, we considered the gentleman nationality. He's just fainted. So... answer, of course, Iris is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only to follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unveil the mystery. Reason for the man's violent interwobbling revealed by the herbal tea, not the herbal tea. Look, she's so disappointed. It's like, bruh, you are so off the mark. But this man, just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose? As I said, he's been stuck still the entire time. If you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. Not sure what's actually responsible for this very scene. We really don't know. I'd be mad too if my favorite teacup broke. How do I... Ah! I had to do left and right and WASD. That's awful. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Sounds coming from the corner. Of course it does. Sounds like you're changing the world. Bruh. Imagine coming from the time where gramophones are new.
Take that!
Look at the little mouse, it's really cute. As the words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, he's asleep. Or unconscious. My favorite teacup broke. The music seems to have stopped now. I ask you, Mr. Naruto, why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How would we know, dude? Exactly as a gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the settee. We know it's not German. We know it's not German! We know it's Dr. Mikotoba. It's like, it's obvious in the mustache. It's really hot in this house. Oh. Yeah, it's not King of Germany, bruh. Was he? Was he in a mask? I don't remember. We know that this one is, we know who it belongs to. It belongs to Kazuma.
Take that!
Honestly, don't feel like talking a lot today. The mask belongs to Kazuma Asugi. Only you could try to make that sound positive. Kazuma massive languish on his metal chest for several days, though that doesn't pretty much just wearing it now. Now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. Take it off. All the gentleman is unconscious. We only excuse ourselves in advance. Gently lift the mask and peer beneath it. Yeah, it's Dr. Mikotoba, man. I don't believe it. Father? Father! I'm afraid Mrs. Sato, you must be Mr. Oh, I think not, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, damn, she's asserting herself. Logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. The mysterious visitor is Dr. Mikotoba. Because his father. Yujin Mikotoba. Oh. Logic and reasoning, or just looking and saying. Exactly. That face right there, that's me. Ugh. Why is she silent? Because she found out her dad's dead. Unable to hide the truth. Her muteness is concealed in that knapsack. What about that paper? I don't think it's a £5 note. Himself though, judging by his presence. Some other reason for it. Yeah. That can't be a 5-pound note. I know, exactly. Now that I think about it, Iris always wears that little bag on her back, doesn't she? Right, though it's easy to forget about it because you can't see it. Felt bone. I had no idea. I don't remember ever seeing them. It's possible there's always a 5-pound note bag, I just haven't noticed before. Can we just get it? Please? Okay, I guess it doesn't count. It's not what we're looking for. The metal chest is open though. Well, I'm convinced it's open. Because so I'm gonna use that cartoon. Yep. Are we not really?
Take that!
Look at the little mouse. Look at the little mouse, chat. Closer expansion, there's something different about that chest appearance. Like it's open? Like it's open? We opened the chest. Dude, imagine she just like slams the chest down on his fingers. No! Hurley, don't! Inside it was fire. He got punched! He got second punched! Hey, look, they're twins! He's dead. Oh, Hurley, I told you not to open it. So you found your voice now, Iris. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. The real reason for your silence is Alice. Oh man, that was really funny. So I'm going to have to dance this next part solo. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this for my own peace of mind. Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so... I mean, you don't actually know the answer yet, despite that knowing the point of the finger before. Mr. Sato, sometimes a man needs to point his finger at first and think later. No, he doesn't. That's like accusation without evidence. Okay, let's look around. Oh. Why do you have your key, little ma'am? The key she's holding. Look. That wasn't in her hands before, was it? By magic. Big old iron key. Where did it materialize?
Take that!
Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is the key behind your back. Mr. Sholmes was thrown into air before. Just before you called out to try to stop him, you slipped something out of your mouth. Oh, she had it in her mouth. That something is the key now, and no doubt the key to the chest. Hey, Artix. Oh man, that was really funny. You missed the fun part. You're so clever, Runo. Now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphic demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here. But Professor Mikotoba also opened that metal chest only to be punched into the air. And land sprawled on the settee. But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf, and the cup of tea, and above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Oh my god, Jonathan! Thank you so much for the party! Thank you so much for the raid! How are you? Hey, old Jeevas! Thank you so much. I'm guessing you are the one who brought John over here. I appreciate that. Let me give you a quick shout out. Hi, Nimi. Oh, you weren't? Well, in either case, I appreciate... Oh, shoot. Let me shout out Joniver again. It wasn't you? It wasn't you? Okay, I believe you. Hey, oh, wait. Does it say... Everyone give Joniver a follow. I know that Joniver is part of Shin's group, and Shin, Nami, Grin for Legendling. A lot of the people in that group are good, or at least friendly acquaintances, good friends. Some birdies gave me a message that we got some awesome people. I appreciate that, Joniver, so much. And you know what? Since Joniver is part of that group, I am without a doubt know that Joniver is an awesome being. So please, if you're here in my stream and not from Joniver's raid, please give Joniver a good follow. I think anyone who raids, just for the sake of raiding it, even, are people who deserve to be followed. So, Joniver, thank you so much for bringing your community here. I really appreciate it. It looks like we have some familiar faces here. Welcome, Uljivas. Welcome, Nimi. I hope you guys are doing well. Ooh, let me see this. Let me see this clip. Hold on. Let me pause it real quick so that everyone can see it as well. If I do this, right? Ayo, 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 ayo. I need an adult. I am an adult. What a great clip that you've gotten. Anyway, for those of you here, my name is Sin, and I am a polymorph / dream entity VTuber. I change my ears whenever the chat deems it. And currently we're playing the Great Ace Attorney. I just need the rock eyebrow emote here to work towards 500, as I really wanted to hit that goal. Let's go, please. Now, if you're watching, please give Joniver a follow. Definitely get Joniver to... It's your sin, and Joniver is a sin. Please give Joniver a follow. Let's get Joniver to 500 followers. Definitely deserves that. And land or rain. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Napper's Condo. I hope you have a great nap. And to recap, welcome to the Great Ace Attorney. We are playing as the ancestor of Phoenix Wright, Yunosuke Naruhodo, and currently one of our... Sadly, sleep is calling. No worries, go sleep. This is... Once again, this is a dream entity stream, so if I'm bringing you to sleep, that's a good thing. As long as I'm giving people the peace of mind, to be comfortable to be sleeping on stream, like during my stream, I'm happy. I appreciate every lurker here. I appreciate everyone who's sleeping on stream. A funny story. The reason why I am going with all the sleep and dream theme is because I am well known in high school and in college. I have fallen asleep through every single class. Every single class imaginable, I've fallen asleep in. That's why I brought it over to streaming. Anyway, moving on to recap what this game is. We are playing as the ancestor of Phoenix Wright. Our main police detective, Tobias Gregson, has been murdered, and the culprit is, or the suspect is Clint Van Zeeks. No, not Clint Van Zeeks. Barack Van Zeeks, the chief prosecutor and our main, not really antagonist, but he's our main opposite of us. And now we're defending him from another prosecutor who's actually our best friend, who was supposed to be dead, and then also another defending lawyer, but then he like quote unquote died, came back to life, had amnesia, became a prosecutor, and now he's a prosecuting attorney. And that was actually him before he regained his memories. Kazuma-sama. Anyway, if you like what you see, please give a follow. I appreciate that. And once again, please give Jonathan a follow as well. Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Phoenix Wrong, the main antagonist. Miles Edgeworth. Isn't that right, Iris? Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. When Professor Mikotova opened the chest, completely unaware of what waited him. Wait, why would he open the chest with everything on top of it? What? That makes no sense. Just as he was only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down. And the teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught on the unconscious professor's finger. That makes no sense. It's actually just a tablecloth. This is a great detective's office, after all. I'll play some miraculous deductions. He sneak a peek inside. Wait. If he snuck a peek inside, then the glove wouldn't even hit him. At the very least, if he snuck a peek inside, the glove would just like fling in the air, fling all the stuff in the air. No. That's just me, though. Look at the little mouse! Would you expect anything less? Aw, Iris is so sad. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Reno! Mouse detective, exactly! This concludes Ryunosuke Naruto's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. So, what you guys missed? Sherlock Sholmes here opened the chest. He got hit by, you know those boxing gloves in a box that punches you? Yeah, no, he got punched and got flung into the air and then fell right back down onto Mikotova. So then, why don't they make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Objection!
Oh my god, he objected! An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show, you rather missed everything of importance. Mr. Sholmes, if you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. Oh shit! She is? From the look on her face. Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever that great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. So I put it to you again. You were attempting to scone with that coffee cup. Not the coffee cup. Bag yet. The cat isn't out of the bag yet. Why is the cat in the bag yet? I'm sorry. It's gonna go from comedic relief to Mr. Serious solver of crime. He's always like that. That's gonna take in a different direction. Because like, I need sleep. Objection! But I want sleep. Objection! I think we've heard like 1, 2, 3, 4 5 objections, 6 objections so far, throughout this whole game. But yeah, Uljivas, please go sleep. I would rather you. Oh, hello. I only have school in 8 hours. You should definitely sleep then. There seems to be more papers. Are you trying to hide them underneath this tray? The insignia, Mr. Knight, is an official Scotland Yard document. What? But why would Iris have you? Official. Is tomorrow's problem? I mean, tomorrow is today.
Take that!
What is tomorrow but future today? No. And future today is a future now. But yeah, no. Here we promote healthy sleep schedules. Even though I don't do it myself. We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today. Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint Van Zieks had gone missing. Clint Van Zieks. Yes, I do seem to recall. Some years ago, I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? You mean, it was you, Iris. So those papers you have there are... I'm sorry. Aw, don't cry. Forgive me. Oh, no, don't cry, Iris. Iris, don't cry. Oh no, we made a little girl cry. Bruh. I don't feel happy about this deduction. Even though this is like my favorite part of the game, doing the deduction stuff. Man. I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective Herlock Sholmes, hiding evidence straight to jail. I mean, yeah, it is evidence. So you mean this autopsy report really is... Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's. The writing? Father's writing? What do you really mean? Iris? It must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? Yeah, that's really sad. I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten. Father! Perhaps we should find out, get somewhere more peaceful to rest. Mr. Naruhodo. Would you be so kind as to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable. Feel? Oh, yes, of course. I'll help you carry him up. So will I. No, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. We wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew. I wanna open this again. I wanna see the punch. I wish I could relive that punch scene. Let's use this opportunity to talk with Iris and find out what exactly going on. That was a great punchline, though. Exactly. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father? I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner. Yes, and that notes all about all the cases they saw together kept inside that metal chest. That's right, Hurley told me, you see. He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet. That's one way of describing it. By the way, her dad's dead in the first case of the first game. Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build up a picture in my head what Daddy must be like. Well, that's only natural. You're just like any other girl of your age. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too. Oh yeah, she's also a she also has a doctorate. Well, that's only natural, I suppose. In that respect, she's also 10 years old. You're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. But there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name. Ah, his name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes that he'd made about his work with Hurley. But then one day, that's what happened, is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right? Yes. It was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye. The average 10-year-old scientist. Not a scientist, a doctor. When I saw the writing on that report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself. Because it was the same as the writing you'd seen on your father's case. Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time we'd be allowed even to look at it there. So you decided to steal it.
And then
Oh, thank you so much for the
Chunky.
follow, Jonifer.
He's
Welcome to the Napper's Condo. I hope you have a great nap. Woof. I'm a dog right now. When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. Handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report. Read Dr. John H. Wilson. So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last. See. Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. And that's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. I decided there and then I'd write the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, Iris. I had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you. I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her. Why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. I must apologize, Iris. This is really all my fault. Hurley? I made a promise, you see, until the time was right. I'd keep the details about your father a secret. I know. I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gory and apologize. I promise. Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then, let me look after it for you until we get there. Lynn's autopsy report has been entered into the court record. Let's look at the autopsy report. I'm the kind of person who reads all the evidence, like, beforehand, like, as soon as we get it. Clint Fancy's man, 9 p.m. midnight death for single stab wound to the heart, other superficial external wound indicative of a dual recent scarlet ink stains invisible on the little and ring fingers of the right hand, but no document in corresponding ink was found. Autopsy findings, vital evidence recovered from the victim's credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. John H. Wilson. Okay. Is there anything else that was written by John H. Wilson? Because the writing everything else in the writing had just names typed down, but John H. Wilson had a signature. I must go and water my herbs, I think. I'll see you all later. Maybe it's a future evidence. Poor Iris. She must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. Ah! What? What? How? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? Oh, dear me. So, you noticed, I think. But that would mean... What on earth's the matter, Mr. Sato? You turned as white as a sheet. You know what I think? I think John H. Wilson is the one who signed it, but the writing is actually Dr. Mikotoba. It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. Hello, Hayashi.
We're the rats. We pray at night, we stalk at night.
I have
We're
something for you.
the rats. I'm the giant rat that makes all of the rules. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into.
Okay, Hayashi, I have someone, I have a name that you need to add to your list. That person needs to be added to your list. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this writing very well. This writing, it's my father's. What? What? Nani? Professor Mikotoba's. Mikotoba sensei! Indeed, it's true. And now you know, my dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. What on earth does all this mean, Mr. Schultz? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind is just too extraordinary to believe. I don't think Iris Wilson is... I don't think Iris is Dr. Mikotoba's daughter. Please, you have to explain. So, this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba then. But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible. My dear fellow, pray. Take a deep breath and think again. Iris was a mecha robot this whole time. She's the one who started the Steel Samurai series. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. It does? 10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. And prior to his return, why was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory learning about forensic science. As an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed note. While activities have been getting less and less good, which would be assembled into the full autopsy room. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. See, Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean. She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson. Which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. The details of Clint's autopsy report has been updated in the court record. And your partner? Who's your partner? Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Schultz, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, written by Iris. We really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. What's troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. What about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? From what I worked out, the bot's activities dropped by 57%. That's good. Let's make it to 100. Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see. And please come straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. Hi, Scully! So, Scully, what prompted your decision to, change the color of your hair? I really like it. It's really pretty. Especially the blue streak. He was a trusted comrade, and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your pieces? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest? My god, oh my god, I can't take... I'm trying to take a picture of my cat, but he, like, as soon as he, like, notices that I'm about to take a picture, he opens his eyes. I have returned. Welcome back, Joniver. I'm going to take a picture real quick. Back to sleep. Now's my chance. Alright. Everyone, if you're not following my Discord, this will be a great time to do so. Because I am going to upload a picture of my cat right now. He's such a cutie patootie. He's such a cutie patootie looking. I die every time I see him because he's so cute. Ah! All right, here you go. Look at him! Look at him! Alright. The chaos is amazing. It's great. Also, give me 1 second. If anyone joins, like right now, I'm gonna be giving them the roles. Because I keep forgetting to, like, I keep forgetting it. Damn it. Now I want to see it. Go ahead, just join the Discord. It's perfectly fine. Alright, we rarely meet. See, it lives on the other side of the world. Alright. Welcome to the Napper's condo, John Ever. Here you go. It's in the pet pics. The paws. Ah! I know, right? Look at his paw. He's so cute. Oh my god, he's covering his face.
Michael.
It's your birthday today. Get on your the John is waiting.
Michael.
Take a good boy this year. Open up your lips while we all cheer.
Look at him now. He just covered his face. Ah! The autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand. And if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there'd be only one logical conclusion. Pray, impress me. Your partner would have to be Yujin Mikotoba. In other words, Mr. Sato's father. We wonder who Brit Boy is? Oh my word. Mr. Naruhodo? Wait, which Brit Boy? This guy? Yes. You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. This is Herlock Sholmes. You mean to say? Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba! The one that joined the server? Joniver! Totally not the British mod. Oh, I wonder who it is. Wow. Wow, I wonder who it is. Alright. Thank you for letting me know that you joined. Who could it be? I have so many... why do I have so... not that I'm complaining, but why do I have so many viewers from across the Atlantic Ocean? There's Hayashi, there's bread, there's seaweed, there's... I think Uljivas is also from across the Atlantic Ocean. Hemlock Sholmes and me. Well, that's actually 4. Never mind. That's not a lot. Oh wait, not Spoopy, but Chris. Chris is Russian. To offer bot cleaning, and I'm just here now. Yeah, I know, right? How my own fan has attained worldwide celebrity as great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Ah, pray remind me. When was it again, Mikoto? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah, yes, quite. 16 years ago. I just arrived from Japan with Seishido and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at reasonable price. The rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right, so I decided I needed someone to share lodging and the expense. And that was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. I like how you said hemlock instead of herlock. Hemlock Sholmes. And the situation of our cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. By the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous case of cases presented itself. His first name, so I just go with Hemlock. No, okay, so you know Sherlock Holmes. Just put the S at the Holmes, and then you get it. Sherlock Holmes. Instead of Sherlock Holmes, it's Sherlock Holmes. Just move the S. Just move the S from the beginning to the last name. After the trial, Seishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstances. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. This is just amazing. Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner. You wouldn't believe it. My cat is big with 0 brain cells. Oh my god, your cat, y'all got so your cat is so okay. I love your cat. Your cat is so derpy and looking. It's so cute. Father. Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look. As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. She's gonna ask about Iris being his daughter. and that is? You know very well that what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father. Ah, of course! I had almost forgotten about that one. Ruh-roh! I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes? That is indeed what I told young Iris. But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you. Ah! On my word, Miss Susato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. Finally grasp the art of deduction. What? What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago. And you left me in grandmother's care while she sparked your study tour of Britain. Oh my god, I love Japanese misunderstandings. And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris. Ooh, there it is! Susato-san's ice cold stare! Oh, no. Oh. No! Now, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. And perhaps you would like to explain what it is. She's about to judo throw her dad. More kitties have been set. Excellent. I love them. You also have a tuxedo. Oh my god. Now the ice goes from ice cold to red hot just before she. No, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick, Sholmes. It's the end of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man. That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. and a big chunk of boy. Mr. Sholmes, when did he get all dressed up? What do you mean? He's always been like this. Also, I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past. Mikotoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go? Why, my dear madam, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot. But Sholmes! I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. My mother is a cat lady. You know what? I transformed my mom into a cat lady. Really, I visit our home after 10 long years. And when I opened that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. That was his chest, and as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regained consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all this. Father, please. Go with Mr. Sholmes now. What? I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests. I'm a bird person, but 2 tuxes and two fully black cats. Oh. But I don't have any birds now. I thought you were a rabbit person. I'm just gonna take a guess, Brad, that you're just an animal person. I trust you. Completely. Susato. And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. 3 girls, 1 boy. I see. Okay, you have a ballot, but still! Very well then. We'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. I am a bird, but I love bunnies. Oh my god. I think there was a scene in Bully, right? Bully, I really love bunnies. The only reason why I know this is because I had a friend who was streaming, who streamed Bully. Pretty sure it's from Bully. Hold on, just here. So, if you guys don't know, Bully is like GTA, but you play as like a school kid. And there's actually a storyline. But one of the NPCs apparently bugged in that scene. And in that one moment, and she just says, "I really love bunnies." And my
so
friend.
much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
And she had that as a soundbite in her stream. And you know what? This was actually how many years ago? It's like 8 years ago, almost like 7 years ago, when she added that when she added that. But I still remember it. I really love bunnies. All right. Okay, we've come to the end. Chapter 5. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it Chapter 4, Part 3, and then. Oh wait, whoops. We're gonna say Chapter 5, Part 1. When we get to the next part. Because basically, in my personal opinion, this episode 4 and episode 5, the final chapter, are is just one big case wrapped up together, and divided into 2 parts. So, in my opinion, they're the same. It's just one case. All right, there's a cutscene. Oh, there's no cutscene. 9:14 a.m. Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. So, the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Miss Susato. Miss Susato. Ah! Wow! Why did I get yeeted? Oh no, what's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? You're the one who threw me! Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but... So sorry, of course. I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down. Would you mind helping me to my feet, then? Oh dear, I'm really very sorry. She's still thinking about how Iris is her stepsister. Susato-san isn't her usual self at all. But that's hardly surprising, I suppose. She just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective. Not to mention... good morning, sir. Ooh, oh. Lord Van Zeeks! Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. What? I hear that correctly. What? Oh, no, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Good point. The Reaper. I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. Failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend. To all this. But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zeeks. It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. That having been slain by that evil killer, was heard as some sort of demigod. Wield a deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. I lost him. I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go, what to do. So, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less. Poor Barak, man. Even if I knew it was just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative. It was obviously extremely important to you. Lord Van Zeeks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. Oh, by the way, in court, you're not supposed to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. If you say that, you're actually gonna get in trouble. You're supposed to say beyond reasonable doubt. I never thought I'd say this. I can see it in your eyes. That burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Let me guess, learned the hard way? Nope. Oh, Iris, when did you get here? Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Early loves it. He says it helps him to clear his head. I thank you. Oh. Wait, are you having a crush? Are you having a crush on Barak? You seem different today, Iris. Sort of. Subdued, I suppose. I am not. What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Syed's laboratory. Alright then. Good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying? I thought you'd want to watch today's proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready. Get ready? For what? Oh, yes. Would you take this? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack? Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once. A Hurley? Looks more like a Hairley to me. It's for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. What? Pull his ears? That's right, it's a way to bring good luck. Bunoy! I really love bunnies. Iris's lucky charm has been entered to the court record. Okay, time to look at it. If it's in the court record, it must be. You think what we'll need is luck. What a charming little rabbity version of Mr. Sholmes. Do you suppose this is how Iris sees him? Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? Your eyes are veritably boring to the doll's ear. Oh, sorry, I was just wondering, what do you suppose would happen if I were to tug his ears with all my might right now? I'm sure that we'll find out when the time is right. To become a proper gentleman, you really must learn what's that. Man! It's not the right time, apparently. Look at little Sherlock Holmes. Alright. I just need to peek inside the curtain. And it seemed very different to normal. Yes, it seemed that a certain someone had decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean? What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and he hasn't come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see. Professor Mikotoba out all night too, do you think, Mr. Sato? Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night. At all. They? Father, and Judge Jigoku, I mean. Judge Jigoku, too. That's right, nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday. Oh shit. Maybe we'll find out later. Because since it's the last chapter, it's probably the longest chapter amongst all of them. Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It's very soothing. Oh, I'm so glad. We must go inside now, Lord Van Zieks. Lord Van Zieks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to walk with in court. Not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. Best friend, Kazuma Asugi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day. To this one trial. To this one final reckoning. And scene! That's it for today. Imagine I end this stream like that. feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, look. Oh my god! Lord Strongheart! Kazuma must have known beforehand. Ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution. The subject of an unlawful shooting of the man. The revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. Imperative that we uncover the truth of these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial. And one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority. The 6 jurors flamed just. As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your accolades, Lord Strongheart. On a personal note, I find this most distressing. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. For the trial of Varrock Van Zeeks, who officially stands accused of murder. Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed? The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution. Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregsy, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice, Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification, present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregsy. In that way, Gregsy appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work when in fact he wasn't. At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as his chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abetted the convict's escape. Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He's recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregsy, whilst investigating the red-headed leader. Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. Defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed 1 day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. The prosecution has something to report on that subject. Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asoki. I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregsy was killed on 31st October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear that the time of death was 5 p.m. on the 1st of November. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse. My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly. Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, This updated report is deemed to be accurate. We give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident. It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities. Well, I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities. Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now. That's our best friend, by the way. Hey, Lestrade! State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Regina Lestrade, Porton, representative of Scotland Yard. Self-conferred rank, but never mind. Gina? Again? What's your problem, Otto? What's with that? Gina? Again? Look, eh? Ah! He got caught out. The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did. What about us? What about us? We got you off scot-free! Oh? Inspector Gregson, you mean? He got me out the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Taught me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina. Right, all out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he had his arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes, no? Yeah. What's relevant to this proceeding is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Very troubling. That face. Lord of strong heart knew. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report. Coming right up, sir. How kind-hearted of Gregson or Sholmes? All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is, there's witnesses saw the Reaper at the place too. Okay, so who are the witnesses? Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the world. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time. Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets. It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigation being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority, without the Yard's knowledge. And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time? In a particular room of a certain exclusive London's gentlemen's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter. That can't be! We haven't heard anything about any of this! Members of the club has testified to it. Hey, Lahads! There's no question, the accused, Barack Van Ziegs, was present. That would be very significant testimony. Oh my, but... Lord Van Ziegs has made no mention of this at all. Sure, Lord Van Ziegs had ample opportunity to murder the victim. Very well then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination. Oh dear. How are you, Lahads? The victim's movements. Okay, we're gonna press. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. Okay, hold on. Before I do that... oh, wait. Whoops. Save. Real quick. Save. I'm worried about so in the later Phoenix Riot games, if you press it, on the incorrect statements, you fail. You fail the trial, and I don't want this to happen. Especially since we have a jury. We don't have a jury, but we have the jury thing. I'm very worried about that.
Hold it!
I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative. His office with no was on. Because if anyone at the yard had seen me going there, they'd have turfed me straight out of the street. This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more and more like something else. The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook. You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade. That's impressive. So then I went to hide myself where no one could find me, so I could have a butcher's at what was written in it. Because if anyone at the yard had found me out, they'd have turfed me straight out on the street. I've given it in now, though, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, it would have never been found. According to that, the boss was constantly dealing with it. You have any idea where those dealings were taking place? It was all there in the boss's notes. Let's see. I wish we could look at the notes. I wish it was in our court record. What? Why not? Since the club might be used against by good stuff. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name of these proceedings. And I could too. I got this written game buttoned up now. Can't I show you what I can do? Go on, what's the harm? The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? We insist. Maybe it's important. There is some possibility of politician. Oh. The prosecution has no objection. Kazuma? There's no question that Spencer Gregson was looking into these black market deals. However, it's not yet established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. The defense requires to know the club's name. The prosecution has no intention of being obstructive. He's going against Strongheart! Let's go! Right then! I get to show off me reading skills! Apparently, the smuggled goods. Wait, oh, cool. They just added onto it. Okay, the grouse. I ain't got the foggiest. Gloves ain't exactly my thing. Of course not. They're not places where foreign stream like you would be readily admitted. Of course not. Have you looked in the mirror recently? I tell you what. Keep going. Could you though? I could pick out a few good mocks and see what else could I find. I like how he pulls up the armband that he doesn't have. Let's take place. I like how Lestrade is like the lowest rank. Good job in the coppers won't hold it yet. How can I come about it in that case? That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so why didn't he inform Scotland Yard as his finding? Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, because you know, I'm just an apprentice. When it suits you, yes. Anyway, the point is, something went on at the club, no question. Can't say that for certain though, surely. Wait, what if the Reaper was there to help him? What if Lord Van Zeek's what if Lord Van Zeek was the one who tipped him off? Huh? Huh? Have you thought about that? There are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregsy was there. So, Muslims. Interesting. So that's all we got to work with, eh? Tina's not holding back with that ice cold stare of hers, is she? But he never once mentioned that he met the inspector on the day before the incident. Exactly. I've been lying to us. What if Lord Van Zeek's is the one who told Gregsy? Thinking Lord Van Zeek had told us the truth, then there must be a mistake in this testimony. There are details we've yet to uncover? Clue perhaps that even Gina hasn't noticed. Did we miss something? I'm pretty sure I presented everything. Soggy papers, Inspector Lestrade's identification. Oh, what? Man. I want to look at this again real quick. What this inspector's identification look like inside? Yep. Please let us. I guess it doesn't matter where I click. And then number details are all correct as well. I got that this really is. I like how she has. Notice board. Autopsy report. Beheaded lead. Isn't it time for a lucky charm? And it wasn't the case. Gentlemen's Club at the Grouse. Hopper onto it yet. Witness saw the beeper at that place too. Do we have any? We're not. It's not time yet. Apparently. Okay. Gentlemen's Club at the Grouse. Wait, is there anything here that's important? Okay, let me go one step back and then press again.
Hold it!
Okay. Okay, I think we present on this. We're gonna save. Dang it. The pause button isn't escape. The pause button is G. Would you believe it, chat? Pause button is G. Grouse. Within 1 week from 31st to October? Wait a minute. Within 1 week. Does it say when he's supposed to be going? Menu button is the foot pedal. I don't have. Good thing I don't have a foot pedal. 10 years ago, drowning with age. Look, out of interest. Most recent thing that appears to be the same here. Same redhead. The advertisement that Mr. Jones picked out. care about the red-headed leaf. Okay. Apparently, smuggled at the gentleman's club called the Grouse. This is tough. I'm just checking the water what stand. Okay, I mean it's not this. Okay, we're gonna present this passport. It's not it. Okay, I guess it's not a contradiction. Damn. Okay. Apparently smuggled. Let me press this again. Grouse. But kinda curious. Like what? Going undercover. You know, anything. Yeah, he's gonna be the lead, I reckon. Hoppers aren't onto it yet. Let me open this. There's something inside. We already know what this is. Passport. Authorizing travel overseas. Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something. That was... for travel on 31st. Just one day. Day before his body was... I can't investigate this. Blood on this. Metal on that. I don't care. Reaper still at the place too. Investigate what? I don't know what to do.
Hold it!
I've like pressed everything. I pressed on everything. I'm pretty sure.
Hold it!
Yeah, this one's tough. Coppers weren't onto it. How do you know the coppers weren't onto it when we have...
Objection!
No? Dang it. I wonder... Okay, wait, hold on. Man, he hates us. He really hates us, man. Okay, wait, let me look at this. If I investigate this again, does it change the thing? No, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to open this. Okay, and then we could do this. Now I stuck to that side, exactly. I mean, we... Oh, wait. Maybe the notes of the case reset. Because it's the new chapter. That this was present at the scene when Inspector. Logical conclusion. Better, I suppose it does look like a pretty stink fish chest. Okay, it doesn't change the evidence. No. Revolver? No. Can we tell how many bullets are in here? No? Okay. Guess not. Dismissal notice? No. No. Okay, let's present.
Hold it!
Well, I'm not present. Let's press. Was. Yeah, no, this is tough. Oh, why did it get tough all of a sudden? I wish we could...
Hold it!
No, all that. Okay, we already know all this. I wish we could look at this.
Hold it!
Wait, hold on.
Hold it!
But should I go through all the evidence again? We already looked at this. Let's look at this. Okay, there's none of this. Can read through the lines again. Can I read? Wait, hold on. Let me look at all the evidence again. Doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? Yeah. Give me 1 second. Blackbird line. Grouse is a bird. Oh, grouse! Grouse! Wow! What are the odds? Wait, I think I know what I need to do now. Chat, I think I know what to do. Who would have thought, like, the first thing that we get in Chapter 4 would, like... would be, Okay. I know it would be. I know it had to be on. I know it had to be statement number 3 because that's the only one that changed. And to be honest,
Objection!
the change statement usually is the one that is the one that you present. Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening in a club called the Grouse? Police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police for their counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A steamship. You think it's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it. Here. Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. The other side, my lord. Be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse.
Objection!
So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share the name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port. The steamship arrived at the port of Dover on 1st November. The day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission. That ship hasn't yet docked on British shores. That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Objection!
Oh, but we have the fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain. Substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. Then show your evidence for that assertion. We don't. Hey, very well. We know, counsel for the defense. Present your evidence to the court now. With pleasure.
Take that!
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim? Dated 31st October. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country. Order! Order! So what if their fingerprints matched? They could have been clones and nothing to do with the crime. It does appear to have also day before SS Grouse arrived at Dover. It docked on the northern coast of France for a night. According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Dunkirk. Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there? I'm impressed, Yunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean you knew about this? The prosecution strategy for this trial had been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something. What? And now that you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi? I love Kazuma, dude! A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts, without exception. Let me guess, this was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper. The Reaper? What? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the Manseeker hideout, he was killed. And I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was in fact acting for the Reaper. So, you're saying that the mission he was undertaking was obviously an assassination. Barack Van Zeeks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. You claim it's Inspector Gregsy. What the hell you think you're saying, eh? My boss would never have done nothing like that. Yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense. No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper. Even so, there's no way that the person giving his orders was Lord Van Zeeks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. Barack Van Zeeks is not the Reaper. Predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Oh, you have some solid reason for doubting the assertion. So, absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku were on that very same ship. Is illegal evil not actually evil? Yeah, exactly. If someone had been assassinated, I'm sure we would have heard about it. What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did aboard the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. His mission ended in a failure. Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you all talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade. Eh? What? What? The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier, that doesn't contain details of the secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey. You're lying! Even if all them bludgers got what got taken out at it coming. The boss wasn't the Reaper. Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time in Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors. I ain't heard nothing, and I don't believe a word of it. And testify again, as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook. Yeah, this notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to in these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates and places and stuff, and the last entry in there was 31st October. It said Grouse for the place on that date, then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal who got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago or something. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all. 10 years. 10 years? Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here. Hold up. It must be so hard for her. I don't give a fuck. Fuck about that. Surely. What can't I deny? The notebook contained the name of the final mark, and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could only have known if he was working with the Reaper. So, what could be this final mark? Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on 31st October. Eh? Oh, how'd you read this then? Reading's still not her strong suit. That ain't the problem, right, Otto? It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's odd to read. So someone from overseas? Let me have a bash at it. Seishiro. Yeah, Seishiro. G-O-U. Maybe? What? It can't be! Seishiro Jigoku! But that's... Judge Jigoku! Seishiro Jigoku. Certainly not an English name, you're right.
Objection!
But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku, and I saw him the day before yesterday here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been... Of course he didn't, because he failed! As I said, the Reaper failed. Oh. Gregsy missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the Inspector. Personally. The Reaper, of course, being the accused. Barack Van Zieks. It's an undeniably logical argument. Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Hold it! Objection! Ah, he has his wine! Ah, his foot! Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice while I stand accused of murder. His foot! Lord Van Zieks! The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock. Say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. He's gonna crush it. That girl is no detective. Eh? What? Nah, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector. Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you clearly planned. Damn! I love the three-way tug-of-war that's going on here. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper. Sent your father to the gallows all those years ago. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for a testimony. What did you say? Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance! My lord, the defense requests that the defendant be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony given by the witness. Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. Defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately. Dude, I fucking love Van Zieks, bro. I found it funny. I found it funny when he did that as a prosecutor, but the fact that he did it during on the bench, not the bench, on the stand as the like accused. He's so cool. He's so funny. Yeah, this notebook does have a load of stuff up what the Reaper got up to in these past. Okay, hold on. Let me save real quick. Oh man, that was great. I was not expecting this to turn this way. But you know what? That's the Ace Attorney games for you. Okay, let's press. In other words, it shows that Gregsy was basically acting as a Reaper. Not you and all. That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret, and that notebook said what he found out. If I may, originally people began referring to me as Reaper. I didn't object. I believe the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your own investigations of the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes. Those investigations proved conclusively that Gregsy was one arm of the Reaper. One arm? What are you on about? The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization, with you at its head. I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregsy's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I had been able to check the most recent entry as well. I knew the location. You knew it said grouse? Believing it to be a reference to the gentleman's club. I went there on the day in question to investigate. Alone. So that's explained why several members of the club claim to have seen you there. But of course, the inspector was not there. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook. Fine. Something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo. You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago. Oh, no, it's alright. Overthinking this, aren't I? Names of victims, dates, and place and stuff, and the last entry was 31st October. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff? What in particular? Well, beside the victims' names, this other name kept cropping up. What other name was that? It's the one I told you yesterday. The same name written over and over again. You mean... Asashin? Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or something, isn't she? Were you even listening yesterday? Asashin. The assassin. Asashin the assassin! The assassin! I would make that face too. Oh, like a killer, you mean? Gregsy was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable, who to use to get them. The person actually executing the plan was someone else, you're saying? That's true. And the Reaper does instead start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes. Ah, then perhaps what is said on the passport document. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been clearly the assassin who was meant to take Seishiro Jigoku's life? Gina, can you confirm that? Against the final entry that listed Grouse and Seishiro Jigoku? What name was written? Oh, well... That's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, as it happens. What? It just had a question mark or something like that, I think. In other words, Gregsy himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case. But Gregsy was the one making the plans, was he not? Oh, how infuriating! Nameless assassin. That grouse for the place on the name of the mark.
Hold it!
And you're saying that the mark listed was Seishiro Jigoku? That's what it said. Funny name if you ask me. And I thought your name was odd. So pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago, studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongheart. That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say. So, Lord Strongheart was Judge Jigoku's mentor. If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago. 10 years ago, after that fateful case. Precisely. In the aftermath of the professor case, his repatriation was organized immediately. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook. I didn't think it was possible, but the Mutineers just got even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking. I'm talking here. There's no about him being a criminal who got away from the report 10 years ago. He wasn't a criminal. What do you mean a criminal? Judge Goku is no criminal. Well, don't ask me. I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Shikoku did once appear in court here in Britain. If Phoenix took other case other than murder, like robbery or something. Exactly, Son Goku. Also, hello, welcome to the stream. This is your first time, chat. Yeah, like, why does it always have to be murder, man? Yes, of course, you're right. There's other crimes. He only does murder for some reason. I feel like most of the time, the murder cases are close to him, or he has no choice but to testify. I mean, not testify, but to defend. I mean, at the very least, in the Great Ace Attorney series, every case has been revolving around him or pushed onto him. Very first case, he was the accused, so he defended himself. Second case was not even a trial. He had to defend himself. Third case, he was forced to by Lord Strongheart. Fourth case was because it was a fellow Japanese person, and I think, yeah, fellow Japanese person, and then they became friends. The fifth case, technically in the timeline, it was the same person being accused again. Sixth case, I would say, would be not even Naruhodo's case. It's actually Susato's case, and the person on the stand for murder was her friend, her best friend. The seventh case was Albert Hairbrain. Okay, no, that one really doesn't have any connection to him, except for the fact that Hairbrain was the person who's well, actually, no. The reason why he took this case was so that he could practice law again. So Lord Strongheart's like, okay, I'll let you, because he was like technically disbarred. He was disallowed to practice law, so he was allowed to practice law again. And then now it's this case, where it's the prosecutor that was I mean, okay, I have a better reason for why he took this case. It's because his best friend's on the opposite side. Actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said something of contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. It was a pitiful situation, yes. I've forgotten all about it. Wait, what happened in the fifth case again? No, not the fifth case. The sixth case in the timeline. There was actually one more before Susato's trial. It was the one where... Oh, it was the one where Gina Lestrade was framed for murder, and she was our friend at the time. So you know, we had to defend our friend. So defend ourselves, defend a fellow national, defend the fellow national again, defend a friend from being framed for murder. 6-1, which is not him, but his but Susato, defend her best friend from being framed for murder, and then defend get the next, and then like get back his license to defend in court, and then now go against his best friend in court. Everything has to like revolves around him. Like it's connected to him somehow. He's just fucking unlucky, and it always ends in murder. Maybe he should just like not be existing. I mean, like, I'm not saying die, but just like maybe just like live a quiet life or something. Have what? Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court. Guilty or innocent alike. What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Shikoku was targeted for assassination? The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns written once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is. Come on, that's absurd. To take someone's life for that? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension. But we have objection. Right, I've had just about enough of this. Gina? All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people? It's cobblers. Come on, Otto. Yes? Why ain't you saying nothing? Why ain't you yelling out objection or something? What? Got to find a flaw. You do usually. Someone's lying to you, no question. You've got to work out who it is. Please. Kill the boss. That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back salons couldn't make a detective. When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Miss Lestrade. Is that clear? I've had it with the lot of you. It flies every bleeding place to look in the world, innit? Well, I've had enough. So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind. To do what, Mr. Naruhodo? There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd. Do you mean... I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears. I completely forgot we were doing cross-examination. Place from the day and name of the mark. There was no bound being criminal. We already... Okay, come on.
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve. Eh? What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? Inconsistency. Really, Otto? I don't quite know what it means yet, but... Yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... Who? Okay, let me, the other guy, Kazuma, that's what I'm thinking as well. Right, divorce. Imagine Phoenix, right, divorce attorney. Objection! That man is not the father! That's basically Mori, bro! Ah! Yeah, no, I don't think Gina's... I don't think Gina's lying. I don't think... The only person that could be lying and who's been yapping is Kazuma. That makes the most sense to me. Like, Zeke's has no reason to lie. Lestrade has no reason to lie. Strongheart hasn't really said much. So it has to be Kazuma. Oh my god, I'm dying because of that idea. Kazuma lost his memories, right? But I mean, that's not that doesn't matter. That Kazuma lost his memories, and it does say that here.
Take that!
Hey, we're right. And I forgot to save. By you, Kazuma Asuki. Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering counsel? Prosecutor Asuki has given no testimony. Are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent? You let something slip that you shouldn't have. He has? When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you'll realize— Wait! No! I know exactly what it was! Like, basically the Mori show? Yeah, exactly, basically the Mori show. What evidence and this is just... This is great. I completely didn't realize this. I mean, I kind of did. It kind of sat in my mind. It's like, how did he know? How did he know about this in the trunk?
Take that!
This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. Metal construction. It's certainly very heavy. This bloodstain, and a relatively fresh one too. What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fish and chips? Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. But I found it! Me, with me nose for trouble. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship dock on the northern coast of France. Shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. So, the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? You know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport?
Objection!
Well... But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On 31st October, where exactly were you? At the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Yunosuke? Kazuma! What did you... He didn't lose his memories? No, he gained them back. When he's... Okay, so what happened in episode 3? He remembered everything. If Kazuma was there on the ship, then it can only have been for one purpose. Oh no, Mr. Naruhodo. Surely you don't think... Come on, Yunosuke. You know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proved nothing. Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day, in the same place as the inspector. He was there? With Gregson? There's a clue that you've overlooked. A secret that Trunk can tell us. I can't be sure at this point. I'll need to verify it. But I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right. The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, it was tested. The defense will identify for the court whether the trunk is alleged clues found. It's the sword! But let's open this. Let's have a look inside, shall we?
Got it!
There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here. Like the tip of a blade. Eh? A blade? Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Karuma. Of course it is. Won't you draw it here in this courtroom? For all to see. exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff! Watch Prosecutor Asogi like a hog. That won't be necessary. Wait, is it broken? It is broken. Oh no! The tip is broken. The fragment of metal from the trunk fits together with the end of the sword. The question of who was there with Inspector Gregsy will be answered. Oh no! It's broken! Oh no! The tape, the sword! It's broken! Expertly done, Junosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved. You mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asogi? Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregsy to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. The additional person authorized to travel was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. What? What? You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Chikuku? Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk, but I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You were never going to do it? I can believe Kazuma-sama. I'm sure. After all, Judge Shikoku arrived safely in London the following day. On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. My sword worked in a chemical factory. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan. Went to Judge Chikoku's cabin? Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in town and returned to England the following morning. A boarding house in Dunkirk? My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then, what became of Jikoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger and end his wretched agent's life. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection!
But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? Don't need to answer that. Yes, you do. The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade is irrelevant to the case. And accordingly, I chose to exercise my right to silence on that matter. Damn it, he's right. Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence. Just been lurking a bit? Alright, no worries, Lahad. As you wish, my lord. Okay, time to inspect the evidence. I feel sick lately. I know you told me that you said that yesterday. Yesterday? No, not yesterday. On Saturday. I hope you get better, man. To verify whether Seishiro Jikoku remains unharmed. Well, but first, I want to look at the Great Sword Karuma. Oh, wow. Everything is a thing. No worries. You don't have to You don't have to apologize. I like that sword me want it. Oh yeah, katanas are beautiful, ain't it? Honestly, I would like to own a katana. You know what? No, I would like to forge my own katana. Near Kanoma sobs. I will always prepare an odachi. The odachi is shorter, right? Wait. Oh no, it's bigger, larger, right? Is there anything else that I can look at? Odachi is huge. Is there anything? Is there anything? Really? Nothing? What's this? Can I open this? I can't. I made knives before, which is similar, I guess. Okay. Why does it look like? Why does this look like it can open, man? Yeah, why does it look like I can open it? Oh well. What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you... When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Shikoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal. It looks like he would have the gun at the end of the sword. His power and influence to give orders from the inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zeeks? If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you. Take an emergency recess for 30 minutes. Okay. Can't be located within half an hour. We will have to assume the worst. Oh no, not Judge Jigoku. No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who only just arrived in the country. Except, that is, for the Reaper, wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net. Defense sake. My lord, I sincerely hope we are successful. If we are unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's health exists in the next 30 minutes, we will face grave difficulties. Oh, jeez. Court is adjourned for 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. 30 minutes is such a short time. Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare. Can we pull the thing now? Nah. Maybe there will be a prompt. I don't believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma is in the habit of making up stories. I have such a terrible sense for foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Jikoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control. From the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. A strange sensation that we were careening towards a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Fortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait. We're out of options. Hey, we're out of options! Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear. Of course! The little Mr. Schoenstall that Iris gave us. How convenient. For some reason, he completely ran out of options in the trial today, and just pulled this little Hurley's ears as hard as he possibly can. Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Hartley's ears or not. Pull! I've wanted to pull since as soon as we got it, man. Here goes then. I'm going to do it. Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo. No looking back. Heave! Ow! That scream sounded like Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes? Where are you? Here, my dear fellow, here! It's the felt doll talking. Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can. Alright then, I'll pull all my strength into it. Heave! Ow! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first class cabin area of the SS Grouse. Is it a bomb? The SS Grouse is a phone! They're calling! He left last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We are currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour. You've taken a ship to France? Please, even with my athletic prep. After we were at Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port. In order to board this vessel in time. So, you mean you'd already worked it out? That the steamship was where everything really took place? Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name? Herlock Sholmes, world-famous great detective. Recited to perfection. Well done. You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it. Ow, 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 ow. Mr. Sato, gently with this genius's ear, please. Oh my, I'm ever so sorry. If I may, Sholmes. Ah, there you are, Mikotoba. You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grouse. At Scotland Yard yesterday, when we examined that notebook, and I recalled my steamship ticket. But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our cold-bound companions utter my name. Yes, you did, didn't you? We've just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now. And if we're unable to present any new leads, then I'm afraid to say... Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That'll be wonderful. Until later, then. Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first. Ow! I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea behind making a receiver operated in that way in the first place, Sholmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine. Maybe that mouse on Naruhodo's shoulder is also a receiver. Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour of Sholmes, we have but half that now before the Grouse puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprisingly amount of sense. So, let us begin! First class cabin number 2. Yes, this is the one. I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. Are you Stroganoff? The Coop's man standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow. Why are you loitering here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you? That says Sholmes. 5401365. Wait, 5? It's upside down, it becomes 2? Wait, it should be the other way around, right? Then what the hell is the E supposed to be? Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor Chicken Stroganoff when you see... Chicken Stroganoff! His name was Chicken Stroganoff! Is he related to Beef Stroganoff? great detective. Ah, I don't think so. Why is that? If it's not upside down. Wait, hold on. 3, 5, 2, 5, 2, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5. It looked like numbers to me. I couldn't tell what the E was. It appeared that this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me! Is that a tattoo that says Sholmes? I must say, whilst adoration is flattering, naturally, it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave! Now! How distressing. My loyal devotee knows me only by name and not by appearance. Yet I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world aboard a Russian steamship, in fact. How could you know this? Ah, so Beef Stroganoff is his brother. Elementary, my dear Mikotova? I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard this ship. See? We're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jigoku. There is no one with this name on board. But we know that he purchased a ticket for a passenger. Ah, you mean Eastern man. He left ship 2 hours ago. He read Dunkirk. He said something about emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? So Seishiro's realized that we're after him, has he? His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No! I have orders not to let even mouse inside. Ikotoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse so that he leaves the area. Doesn't great detective see that even sailors have ears, both left and right? Curses! The plan is ruined! You have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes. Forget it! Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. Good thing we have the code already. Mikatoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock. Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'd be so kind to as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating method. How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So, I need to distract the burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man, so, the game is afoot. Can I press this? So it appeared to be an alarm bell. A hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it. Set it off! Goes then. Pardon me in advance. You! What are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be very bad problem. What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once. Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me, by world famous. No, as I told you. Now, Sholmes, now. Done. Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't just stand there gawping at my brilliance, Mikatoba. In we go. Oh, yes. The first thing I did. November, SS Grouse. First class, cabin number 2. What the hell is going on here? It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. There's clothes on the floor there. They're seychelles, without question. Well, it seems we are just a little too late. Yes, by about 2 hours. Then we still investigate. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here. That surely burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed he may. which makes this all more thrilling. Well, the first thing I want to do is open up this case. Very sizable trunk indeed. Rather clumsy fellow. If you failed to notice he left that behind, perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but it still hinders the speedy exchange. Pity. Locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now, the situation will be quite different, though. Can I just open it, please? I'm not a morose enough mood to work through all the combination at present. I want to look, bro. I just want to. Ah! I know the code. Just let me in. Quite the exhibit glass, I must say. See how it still hasn't melted. It still hasn't melted. Ice, Mikotoba, ice! What opulence the first-class passengers enjoy. Chilled drinks. Could it be that the steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think? Well, it is a luxury liner, after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of large produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikotoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water. I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know? But it does show that Gregsy could have been put in there. So that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere. Something happening here that was for no one else's ear, do you think? Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering. That's becoming a favorite case of yours, hasn't it? Naruhodo was concealing himself in Nasoki's wardrobe. He was, and he was of similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow. What? Whatever for? It was the sight of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment. Really, Sholmes, surely you can just tell me what you said. Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer. I think I'll just read about it in the Adventures of Harlock Sholmes. I didn't mean to do that. Oopsies. I don't know if I was meant to click that. I discovered recently that I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste paper baskets. I mean, it happens like 3 times now, right? Oh. You haven't noticed. 3 days ago, the night before we arrived in London, I was still aboard myself. All crew members are required to assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. to evacuation procedures. Oh. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. Some privacy rules. I see. I want to read that again, please. Oh. Plenty of reading material to keep passengers occupied on long sea voyages. Found Mr. Cat and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. No copy of that. I'm afraid it's just me. No, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. Damn. I shall leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one with me. You're a true missionary of the Church of Great Detectives, aren't you? I like the sarcasm in Mikotoba. Thank you, Mikotoba, for the sarcasm. There's severe punishment for stowing away in wardrobes and/or travel cases. Oh, that's so funny. Oh man, they added the no stowaways in wardrobes just for Naruhodo. My imagination. Wait, that might be slightly off. Okay. Slightly different color here. I wonder if this was supposed to be there. That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size. You mean this? Ah, Chicken Stroganoff. Welcome. You are still here! Ah! Able Seaman Stroganoff. No shit, Sherlock Holmes. That wall has an outline. Yep. I was beginning to think you never materialized. You are waiting for me. Of course, I was expecting you to burst in here with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. Suka! I was in trouble with Captain because of trick you played before. Poor innocent chicken. This is all your fault! Ship is leaving port soon. Get off, now! Of course we shall disembark. Presently, my dear fellow, but first... there's something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the bearing of the truth. Kakoi! Hi. My cat has taken my left hand hostage. I apologize. It really has been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance on my inimitable chicken? Nothing would please me more. What is this? We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Ah! This time is of the essence. I have regained my hand. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. Da! That is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah. Yes, of course. See, you've noted it too. Noted it too, Mikotoba. Then please do take the lead. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago. Let's see what last 3 years have done to your observational skills then, Mikotoba. It's been 10 years since we last did the Sholmes, not 3. Why, of course it has, quite. Now all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look but observe. Observe and the answers become clear. Think I can manage that? Oh yeah, the ice. The first thing I thought was ice.
Take that!
Because, you know, if it had been 2 hours, the ice would have melted. Tap dancing! Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious that this ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Ah! It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. This well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind off the refreshment, Sholmes. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? Hi! Hi, Hoovy! How are you, and how are the cats? hope you're doing well. I hope the cats are doing well. I hope that your cat is on a steady path to recovery. What? Why would Seishiro run from us? Before we consider that question, she's home, nomming. That's good to hear. A cat with a healthy appetite. A cat with a healthy appetite is always a good sign that the cat is healthy. Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of SS Grouse are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan? Ah, that's right, they are! I was in the cabin next door, and Seishiro was... yes. 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. Ah, this is new to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Jones, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in here. That's the key to this, Mikotoba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite incongruous. So basically, when Mikotoba and Herlock Sholmes were together, he bounced the ideas off of Mikotoba, and Mikotoba fixed him in real time, not after he's made his deductions. I see. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this deduction with you again, Mikotoba. No, but life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we all know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. Would be this, the rules of the passage. Why is it here and not there?
Take that!
He's really good at dancing. It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. Way they're hanging crooked on the wall as if they were just put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded, that frame was originally over here. The shape and size are a perfect match. Ah, you were right! When did frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen, are you, Mr. Shogunov? I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikotoba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall? Ah, it's a bullet hole. Hello. That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? See, the projectile has been removed. Clearly, the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff. I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger? Ah, so we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. Ah, my dear Mikotoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle. And I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I put a wager on it. So I'm declared the fellow from all sides. Well, I can certainly do that. Hi, kitty. My cat, Danby, is doing his derpy upside down look. Hi. Hold on, let me see if I can get a picture of him. Please. Alright. I got it. Alright. If anyone's still new if anyone's new in chat, just got here, I have a Discord down below. You're welcome to join it. It's free. And I sometimes take pictures of my cat. He looked more derpy than the picture I just took. And he's taking offense to the fact that I'm calling him derpy. But there you go. I have a derpy cat. Oh. Oh wait, I have to turn. Hello. A lot of banknotes. Hello. Money, he's being bribed. He said something about money, so I was like, wager. So I was thinking money. It's almost too obvious for words. What? The universal language of the world. Money. Ah! And I'd wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Sage Hero Jigoku. Yes? Gah! So, I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this capital. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But I believe you know, Mr. Shogunov. You know where Mr. Jigoku is, hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, Mikotoba, in matters of deductions, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something. There, Sholmes, you found a chink in this burly fellow's armor. Need only the follow man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. Slightest flicker of the pupils, a minutely displayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. Could hardly call this barely perceptible, Sholmes. The man has turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. We shall let you tap your toes aside, my dear fellow.
Take that!
I actually like the way they set this one up the most. Oh, is that Gucci? You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? Ah! The truth is, Seishiro Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk! If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? How can we? Are you forgetting about the combination lock? You don't know the 7-digit code. The combination lock can't be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure. Of course. Sure, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. As I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about combination code. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Huh? Now, Mikotoba, what'd you do the honors and open the trunk? Wait, how come you don't know? What do you mean? It's right there. It's 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have little time. Okay, so Q review scene. It was 5231045. 5 2 3 0 1 4 5.
Take that!
Oh no, it was 1045. My bad. No, I messed up. Well, to begin with, I thought I'd try my birthday. No, we did not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mikotoba. I made you look like a fool. 5231045. 5231045. 5231045. 5231045. 5231045. My bad. Hello, hello, hello. Seishiro Jigoku. I did it! It's open! You had to meddle, didn't you? Well, Eugen, you found me now. Seishiro. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know? You're not entirely surprised, I take it? No, quite. I just wish it was some other way. Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. Schultz. I've read stories of many of your exploits. Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil is in the details, Mikotoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion. You made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seishiro, are you going to explain all this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent for me that I might very well be targeted. You decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it. I'm afraid so, yes. Of course. I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. Somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are in very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. The cabin did just happen to be available. So I purchased this ticket and here I am. I've just seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you'd already purchased your return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence. Is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, this ship will set off on its own onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. Craig must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Seishiro. Take it. What is it? It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugen. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it? What is it, Sholmes? Inside Mr. Jigoku's trunk. This guy's weird and magnificent, exactly. I found this rather fascinating trick. What is that? Seishiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. What? I have no idea. By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know. Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn in France. Wow! I wonder what it could be! Wow! Well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant. Why can't you why can't you call the assistant your daughter? That'll be a secret tool that we'll use later. Kazuma Asogi, I know you, and I know you wouldn't lie. But still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. During the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expanded. Sadly, Mr. Jigoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict.
Objection!
No. Nah, I'd win. No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Junosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. And there can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty. All relevant testimony? Far from it. There's still a crucial witness, from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel. I call Seishiro Jigoku! Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible. Witness is already on his way, and scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Who on earth is this crucial witness? Seishiro Jigoku. The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Judge Jigoku! You found him? But the investigations of every policing resource in the capital suggest that Jigoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man? It was located in France during the recess at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one of Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions. Herlock Sholmes. Inspector Gregsy almost certainly met with Mr. Jigoku on the night of his death, because along with Prosecutor Asogi, Gregsy was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Seishiro Jigoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grouse on 31st October. Your Honor, the victim was the culprit. Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point. The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jigoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered. In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side. No, my lord. No objections, my lord. Live to fight another day. By the skin of our teeth. Whew. How to have your trial extended, bring the dead back to life, profit. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. My voice is wearing down a little bit, and this seems like a perfect time to stop. This will be for another time. All right. Oh, wait. All right. It's kind of late here too, so I should get some sleep. I find someone to raid. It's been a while. And let me also find that person. Jason, you okay with Overwatch tomorrow? Yeah, sure, I'm okay with Overwatch tomorrow. Okay, today is the 8th. Wait, who did we rate on the 6th? Well, in any case, okay, we have AJ, Focus, Green, Hades. Oh, I know who we rated yesterday. Not yesterday, on Saturday. It was Kuro Kuroto, I think. There we go. And for the last one, this person. The last time we rated Awesome Possum. It's been more than a month, so we'll rate Awesome Possum today. I cannot see. That. Let me raid. All right, here's our raid message. If you are subscribed, you're allowed to use this raid message instead. Either way, copy the raid message, paste it on Possum's stream, send them your love and trash. Send him your love and trash. And I hope everyone has a great day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And as always, please remember to take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all in the next stream. Bye-bye! I hear myself, my voice is saying. Alright, bye. Take care.